Hey everybody, welcome to another Good e-Reader review video. This is Michael.
This is Peter.
Today we're going to review the Pocketbook A10. This is the first 10-inch Android tablet that the company has ever released. To give you a sense of the specs, it's a 10-inch capacitive TFT screen. The resolution is 1024 by 768. It runs a single core 1 gigahertz processor, and incidentally, this is the exact same processor powering it that the original Nook Color used. 4 gigs of internal memory, 512 MB of RAM, and Peter here is going to show you everything else.
Alright, so looking at the front, you see a very nice kind of just generic tablet-esque layout, although you do have this side bezel control panel, which I actually really think is a nice design feature. And then around the sides, you have this piano white finish. So style-wise, it looks very nice. So you have stereo speakers, stereo left, stereo right. You have a front-facing webcam. You have a microphone. You have a search button, back button, left and right, or up and down, depending on which orientation you have the tablet in. You have a more button, or right-click, if you will, and a home button, and then the other speaker. Flipping it over to the back, you see Aubry on there. And it also has this hard rubber backing that offers a decent amount of grip for such a large tablet. You don't want to be dropping this. You have a power button on the top, as well as a micro SD card slot, LED indicator, and micro USB slot. The final side here has a 3.5mm headphone jack and volume up and down.
So the webcam is 2 megapixels, so it's not going to win any awards in terms of quality, but it sure beats a lot of the VGA cameras that we see a lot of people employ on their tablets. Looking at some of the software, it does come preloaded with Gmail, YouTube, Office Suite, as well as the Google Play Store. So clicking on this will give you access to around 600,000 apps. You can get movies, apps, books, and so on. Does take a bit to load up, but it's good that Pocketbook was able to make an arrangement with Google Play, because it certainly makes this tablet a lot more relevant in terms of being able to get, unfeathered access to a really quality market. Of course, we do have our own Good e-Reader app store here. And this is a way for you to be able to get a more specialized app store focusing on e-reading apps, newspapers, magazines, and so on. So you can see all of our different categories. We also support paid apps too via PayPal. So you can install this on really any Android tablet. Clicking the center button here, you get a sense of a lot of the apps that we have here. A lot of this stuff is preloaded, so it does have, plenty of content here. Peter here is going to demonstrate how videos look, how the audio looks, and maybe fire up a game to show you the performance power.
Sounds good. So we're going to go ahead and start with the kind of go-to app, which is Gallery. So we're going to click on that. And this loads up pretty much all of your directories and files and folders and such. So we're just going to see how a video looks on this because of the resolution and how it does have an HD screen. We want to see exactly the potential it has for playing vids. And this seems to be an Asian subtitled Ice Age preview. So you can get a sense on how a 1080p HD video looks. Sounds really good too, because we do have the stereo speakers on the front projecting the noise outwards, so you do get the full multimedia experience. We got another video here just to show you something with a little bit more motion and a lot brighter colors. So So it plays the video all right. Full HD video. I mean, it doesn't seem to stall or lag or anything like that. So I think it plays it pretty fluidly.
Yeah, there's no stuttering or anything like that, which obviously when you have tablets that only have a single core processor, it's the one thing that you worry about, especially with a 10-inch screen with 512 MB RAM. There could be some potential performance issues, but we haven't really noticed anything, and that's 1080p video, and more or less that's usually a huge benchmark test that people run to be able to gauge whether a tablet has performance or non-performance issues.
Exactly. So we're just going to look at a couple pictures here. Very vibrant. Colors are really nice. See the yellows in that. So just some preloaded demo photos they had here to showcase exactly what their tablet's capable of.
Now we're going to take a look at a modern game that most people are playing these days off of Google Play and our own Good e-Reader App Store. Peter here is going to demonstrate Raging Thunder.
This is a full 3D graphic game, so this should really show what the Pocketbook A10 can handle in terms of its processing speed and all that. Alright. Let's just do an instant race here. Not really going to play or anything, I'm just going to kind of let it run so you can kind of see how it looks and all that. I think I have to tilt to steer now. Yeah. So you see that the graphics are playing rather well. It's not really lagging or crashing or anything like that, aside from the car running into all those cones. It's very fluid. A lot's going on right now. You see the background's fully 3D, the car is moving, there's lots of sparks and shadows at the same time. Like, it seems to be going all right.
You're not very good at this game. I see a lot of crashing.
I think I do have to tilt. I think it is gyroscope control, so I will have to change the angle of the tablet to play, but just kind of demonstrating what's going on. It does look like it's holding its own in terms of processing this game.
All right, the next thing we want to do is check out the e-reading experience. Of course, here at Good e-Reader, we do put an emphasis on that. One of the things I like to point out is just the scroll bar here where you could have all of your indie books. And one thing about this e-reader is that, or the Pocketbook A10, was that it's a departure from what Pocketbook normally does. Pocketbook normally specializes in e-readers, and this is a tablet that they have not built as an e-reader, but it does have e-reader functionality. You can see this widget at the top. It allows you to continue reading. It also has, a book app here. It taps, I believe, into the Aubrey ecosystem. This is really like what Pocketbook has really done for its own private content distribution system. In the past, they probably had Bookland, which was pretty woeful. This new one has a lot of other sort of paid books and things like that. You can see here that this is just the default stuff that comes with it. This is the user manual. So you can see it is in PDF. Nothing to write home about at all. What we want to do is actually check out the Barnes & Noble Nook app, because most people prefer to do business with companies that offer bestsellers and a lot of new books and things like that. So this is more or less the e-reading experience.
So you see, by default, you get this nice peak kind of motion, very similar to that of the Apple iPad, and it's got the full page tilt as well. So that's pretty nice to have that default animation. The text looks all right. Because it is a LCD screen rather than a e-ink screen, you are going to get a little bit of eye strain for prolonged periods of reading, but it's not too bad. I mean, we have seen worse. It is a 10-inch screen, so because it is a 10-inch screen compared to a 7-inch, you get the simulated bind in the middle of the book, so you can kind of have a like the book openly spread, so to speak. So you see here you have quite a bit of changes in terms of margins, line spacing, the typical font style changes. You have brightness, that actually looks a lot better there. The white is kind of, it's coming off a little different on camera, but to the naked eye, It is a solid white. I think that the Apple iPad has a much stronger white than this one. So overall, though, it does seem very readable for a tablet.
Yeah, I mean, this would support, Kindle. This would support Nook, Kobo, as well as independent e-reading apps like LDeco, Cool Reader, FB Reader, and things like that. You also have on the sidebar here, a quick thing for the internet. You can see here we're on the Amazon website. Let's take a look at the internet experience, because this is something that surfing the web in full flash and support for all that type of stuff. Obviously people are checking their emails, they're visiting Facebook and things like that. So we're going to load up our own website here and sort of gauge how it handles the internet experience. So loads up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, our news site does have definitely a lot of colors, so sometimes it does take a bit longer to load for the first time, especially like on a tablet.
I'd say it handles pinching and zooming rather well. We've seen a lot of tablets in the past. If you pinch really quickly, the letters would be almost unreadable until it processed and then crispened up. But this one seems to be like it's almost processing live, so that's definitely a plus in the Pocketbook A10's corner.
Cool. So, of course, you can install Dolphin HD and other major web browsers on here. This is, I think, the stock browser. So, you can see that this is the internet experience. It differs from browser to browser, but all in all, you saw it loaded pretty fast. You could scroll pretty quickly, as well as pinching and zooming is very effective. And when you're using the internet on a tablet often, that's what you want to see. So, what are your thoughts on the Pocketbook A10?
Spec-wise, when I heard about this, before we actually reviewed it, I kind of thought of it as, it's kind of like an elephant running off of a human heart, because you have this gigantic 10-inch 1080p tablet, but then at the same time, you have a processor found in the Nook Color, 2-year-old Nook Color, as well as only 512 MB RAM, and I didn't have a lot of high hopes, I won't lie, that I thought this thing would just struggle every step of the way. But we put it through the test with HD video, web browsing, apps, downloads, books, and so far, even a full 3D graphic game, and I haven't seen any of it really affect the Pocketbook. It's just running everything so well for what it has. So I don't think it was really about what's on paper, it's how it's refined, and I think this did a really good job of it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I do like how design-wise it's a bit different from the standard type of tablet. Once, we reviewed Samsung Galaxy Tab, Acer tablets, HP, all the Lenovo, all these tablets, and after a while they start to all look the same.
Yes.
And this definitely does not look like a lot of the other tablets on the market. I do like the physical keys. It really does help with like manual page turns. The inclusion of stereo speakers on the front, I really like.
Yes.
Most tablet companies put them on the sides, on the back. It does muffle it, and so yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. This isn't really geared towards reading, so if you thought that this tablet issued by Pocketbook, which again is known in the e-reading circles as a pretty solid indie company to release e-readers, this is not an e-reading tablet. This isn't like an Amazon Kindle Fire. This isn't like a Nook tablet. This is pretty well just your full Android experience. Downside is Android 2.3, so it's not definitely running a modern version of Android. So if you're looking for something that's running a little bit more current, you might want to skip this. But all in all, for a little over $300, you can't really go wrong with this tablet. So we put it through the paces, and I'm quite pleased. So if you want to purchase this in North America or Australia, New Zealand, you can get it at our store, shopereaders.com. And if you want to check out our full written review, check out our news site at goodereader.com. And for Good eReader, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.